bando. Moving in the basement, man, I'm about to be the landlord.
Alright, what's going on, peoples? It's your boy DB4, Die Before Me Gaming, and welcome to the dungeon. We are fully equipped and ready to go. Welcome back for some more Valkyria Chronicles Remastered. Chapter 3, Vasel Urban Warfare. Now, like I said last time in the video, these chapters are broken down into episodes, as you can see, and each chapter typically has several different episodes, and one of the episodes is dedicated to a battle scenario. So we're going to watch the episodes, then we're going to get into the battle. Chapter 3, let's get into it. Episode 1.
In March of 1935, the Empire began its invasion across Gallia's eastern border. Maximilian, commander of the Gallian invasion front, built his army around mobile armor. Ghirlandaio and the other fortresses along the border fell to his tanks in quick succession. Bruhl's fall in under 2 hours was typical of villages in the Empire's path, and the road to the capital bore a steady flow of refugees. Randgries, Gallia's capital, a town secure and stable since ancient times. Within its walls stood the castle Randgries, and within its unicorn spire resided Cordelia, Gallia's princess. Supporting Gallia's policy of neutrality was a system of universal conscription. Under it, all schools required military training each year. In the event of a war, citizens were then drafted into the militia to defend their country. As the conflict with the East grew worse, both Welkin and Alicia found themselves no exceptions to that fate.
So these are my new digs. Oh, my uniform. I should get changed before reporting in. Better get ready now. Flares, binoculars, a compass, and a map. Everything you need for a nice hike. Or combat.
Welkin? Can I come in?
Sure, it's open.
Oh, you're already changed too. Let's see. Not bad, not bad. You look good, actually. So, how about me? Do I look all right in this? Convincing?
Let's take a look. Yeah, you look fine. You wear it like a pro.
Really? You're not just saying that?
Of course not. You look tough. I like it.
Oh, good. I was worried it looked kind of silly.
No way. That plating on the back? It's like a coleopterate exoskeleton. Beetle-tastic.
Coleo what? And did you just say beetle? Welkin? What kind of girl wants to hear that she looks like a bug?
Huh? Not just any bug. A rhinoceros beetle. King of the insects. Who wouldn't want that?
This guy's a weirdo.
Uh-huh. I guess I'll just try to take that as a very Welkin sort of compliment.
Tell me about that scarf. You've been wearing it since I met you.
Oh, this? It's part of my uniform from the bakery.
Is that right?
I don't want to forget the time I spent busting my buns baking. I plan to keep wearing it until I can get back to manning the ovens again.
That's great. Once you do, I'll be first in line to get some of that bread.
Is that a promise? Well, I'll be sure to have plenty of it ready and waiting for you.
Absolutely. Hey, if you're ready, we should probably go see the captain now.
Episode 1 complete. That episode was dope. She got on a baker scarf to match her uniform. Funny. Alright, let's get into episode 2.
Come in. Excuse me, ma'am. Gallian Militia enlistee Welkin Gunther, reporting for duty.
Ma'am, Gallian Militia enlistee Alicia Melchiot, also reporting for duty.
I'm Captain Eleanor Varot, commander of this regiment. Gunther, you're promoted to lieutenant. You'll be leader of Squad 7 now. Ma'am. Enlistee Melchiot, you're promoted to sergeant. You'll be under the lieutenant's command. Understood?
Ma'am.
What do you know? It is you. Nice coincidence, huh, Welkin?
Valdio? I had no idea that you'd enlisted.
Yeah. Now that there's a real war going on, I joined up. Pretty much all the officer and training boys are here just like you.
You know each other?
Yes, ma'am. We knew each other at university. Welcome was in science and I was in archaeology. And just look at us now. No archaeology or science. Looks like the two of us are studying war, I guess.
Looks that way. It's good to see you.
And you.
That'll be all for now. There's a strategy briefing later today. But you still have time. Time for you to catch up. You'll be spending a lot of time on the post and in Randgries. They'll be your new home. So get to know them. That'll be all. Report back in time for the briefing. Until then, you're dismissed.
Alright, we finally get to see the squad barracks and everything like that. Let's see. Let's look at the squad barracks. We got Welkin, Alicia, Rose, and Largo. That's all we have in our barracks so far. I guess we didn't meet these characters yet. Let's exit the barracks. Command room. Choose which members of Squad 7 will fight in combat. We'll do that. We'll get into that a little bit later. The training field. We'll also get into that a little bit later. Research and development facility, R&D. Upgrade Squad 7's equipment by developing new weaponry. We'll get into that a little bit later. But for now, let's get back into book mode. And as you can see, we also have 2,250 experience points, 6,190 DCT. That's sort of like the money or the in-game currency. We're going to use both of those later on. But for now, let's just return to the book. Let's take a full tour of the headquarters. Oh, so they do want us to get into everything. Alright, cool.
It's good to see you doing the rounds. Welcome. This is the command room. Use it to structure your squad. You will have access to both drafted and volunteer recruits. Now that I think of it, Squad 7 is still short on soldiers, isn't it? I'll explain how this works. This is the master list. The recruits have all been assigned classes based on their talents. I should probably touch on the 5 classes, just so we're clear. First off, you have the scouts. Just like the name suggests, they'll be your eyes. Their best asset is their mobility. They can go out, collect intel, then make it back safely. That, and a keen eye for enemies. A good scout can spot a man in tall grass from 100 yards. That comes at the price of firepower. Their job is spotting enemies, not taking them out. Next up, the shock trooper. They're the ones to break through enemy lines and clean up. They offer excellent offense and defense. As far as combat goes, they're as good as it gets. While they lack any specialized techniques, they also don't have any obvious shortcomings. Think of them as the least finicky unit in your squad, Lieutenant. After them, we have Lancers, then anti-tank units. They're critical when facing armored targets. Their purpose is pretty self-explanatory. In most cases, they're the only way to stop a tank. They're also well shielded from explosives, which conveniently includes tank mortars. Sadly, they're slow and weak to gunfire. Their limited ammo could also be called a drawback. Changing gears, we have the Engineers. They handle supplies and perform combat support. They can restock other units' ammunitions, treat the wounded, even repair tanks on site. They can place sandbags for cover, disarm mines, repair towers, you name it. Their actual combat skills are very low. Think of them as combat facilitators. Lastly, we have the Snipers. They can shoot down targets from a considerable distance. You won't find better soldiers for marksmanship and range. They can hit targets I can barely see. Sniping rifles also come with scopes that work to augment a sniper's natural eyesight. Drawbacks include low mobility and defense. If the enemy gets them alone, they're done for. That should cover the basics. Go ahead and put a squad together now. There's room for 20, and you can swap units at any time.
Alright, now we finally get to recruit some units to add to Squad 7. Now there's 20 units in total, and they're including the units I have already in my squad, Alicia, Rose, and Largo. These units we can't really send back to the barracks at any point, but we can recruit basically any other character on this list. Now there's an extensive list of characters, as you can see, from all classes. There's an extensive list, and trust me, as the game goes along, we get more characters added to this list. So there's always going to be more and more and more characters. It's best to have a very balanced group and try to get a character, at least a few characters from each class, and you get to put at least 20 characters in. But there's way more than 20 characters here. So what I like to do, I like to just build a balanced roster to start out with, and then we'll start swapping them in and out based off of other things like stats and whatever mission we're going to go on. We can come into this command room at any point and switch units around without any consequence, so it's always good to come back and just trade your units out for new ones. And it's one more thing I want to just point out real quick. It's not going to be too much of a issue now, but it does come into play later, and it's one of the main mechanics of this game. I think I'm gonna go over it now. First things first, let's just check out potential info. If we look at this info, each unit typically comes with 4, I wouldn't say it's random, they have like a few predetermined stats. I would say predetermined passives, and they usually gain one as they level up. This guy's the level 1 scout. Sometimes they have one stat to start with, and they'll gain the rest as they level up. Sometimes they're negative stats, and sometimes they're positive stats. As you can see, he's meadow bred, meaning standing in a grassy field helps him relax, enhancing their defense. So he gets a slight defensive bonus if he's standing in, tall grass, like it says. This one says fancies women. Having women around makes them want to look good, making them shoot with greater accuracy. So if you have him positioned near another woman, this will activate, and that'll be a passive accuracy boost. But he's also claustrophobic. Tight spaces like trenches create suffocating feeling, leading to a drop in attack power. So if you put him in a space like a trench or probably a little small building or something, he's going to get claustrophobic, and he's going to have a slight drop in his attack power. Now I'm not going to go through all of these abilities on camera because it'll take all day, and there's so many of them. I just wanted to point out that those matter. And there's one more thing I want to point out. If you also look at the bottom, it says likes. Well, he doesn't have any characters that he likes, so that doesn't matter for him. But if you look at this guy, he has the same thing, 3 passives, and he can learn one later on. See, this guy only has 2 passives. He can learn one, and he can only learn a maximum of 3. That's what that last one is crossed out for. Same thing with this guy. He can learn 1. She can learn 1, a maximum of 3. Everybody else has like a maximum of 4. But getting back to the lights. Now, those are character names like Alex, Nina, and Ted. Those are basically characters that he gets along with and he likes. Now, what that does is, if he fires his weapon near any of those characters that he likes or get along with, they'll fire their weapon with him, most likely, or something else might happen. So it's good to keep characters that like each other next to each other. But sometimes, in small instances, that might be a bad idea based on those passives I was talking about. Let's just go over one real quick.
Hey, Welkster, I'm Melville Young.
Well, I actually just wanted to go over something with Melville. This one, Chatty Platty. Well, Chatty Cathy. This is a passive ability that's negative. Whenever a close friend is nearby, they just can't help but chit-chat, and distraction that lowers their accuracy. Now, as you can see, it's good to put people near characters that they like because they can trigger, you know, basically both characters shooting for 1 command point. That's great. And they also give defensive bonuses too. But if this character is next to somebody he likes, specifically him because he has this passive, his accuracy is significantly lower. So it's kind of some give or take there, and it's amazing. Each character also has the individual HP amount that's separate. Like, they're both scouts, but they have 2 separate HP amounts, and that goes up as they level up as well, so we have to take that into account. But I'm actually going to use Melville because he has Troop Killer and Desert Allergy. That doesn't really matter now. And I'm actually going to use... I'll use Hermes as well.
I'm Hermes Kissinger. With me here, your squad will get twice the girls.
Hermes Kissinger. We're going to throw Ted in there.
Thank you, hello. I'm Ted Ustinov, and I've got some great new material for you.
Alright, we got Ted. We're just going to add a bunch of characters. So far, we got about 4 of the scouts. We could add some more scouts, but let's go down and add some more shock troopers. Let's add... I want to go for ones with the most health because I don't want a lot of my guys dying out there. So we're going to go Kevin. He likes Carl and Caesar. We're not going to pay too much to who likes who just now because most of these characters that these people like are not even in the game yet. So we're just going to just add people with the most HP for now. And I'm sorry about skipping his dialogue, but I'm trying to speed this up slightly. This guy has a ton of HP.
The name's Vice Engelbard. Let's go kick this war in the teeth.
And he also has 2 good passives with no negative effects so far. So that gives us, what, 3 good ones? I want some more. Let's get some more tough ones. Kobe's a good one. Yeah, let's get Kobe. Let's get the old man Kobe.
Kobe Cairns, boyo. Looks to me like we're gonna see a lot of each other.
Let's go, Kobe. Alright, we got a good amount of shock troopers. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. About 4 shock troopers. Let's see if we can get some of these dudes. Some of the lancers. They pretty much have way more HP than anybody else. So we're going to go with the ones with the most HP again. Let's go with Niels.
I'm Niels. Niels Derden. I'll see you on the field.
And I'm going to try to pick the ones with the least amount of negative passives. So he has Dachshund Hater. I don't, basically meaning he's a racist. But we're going to go with Hector's pretty good. But he has metal allergy. I don't really want to do that. Let's go Walter.
The name's Walter Nash, buddy. Pleasure to be working with you.
Yeah, like some characters could be like allergic to tanks or metal, and then they don't like to be around heavily armored units or tanks. So that's a bad, you know, it puts you in a weird type of position because sometimes you want to hide behind a tank. I don't think we need any more of these guys. Let's go into some engineers. Now, I don't think the health is going to matter with the engineers too much, because they're not supposed, if they get hit, they're pretty much going to die anyway. So we got to try to keep them out of the line of fire for the most part. So we're just going to go with people that have real good passives if possible. Metalhead and Lonely. I don't know what that means, but we'll go with him. We'll take Carl.
Carl Lanzett, sir. It's a pleasure to join you.
Okay, who else? Nadine. Pollen allergy. Dachshund bond. Camaraderie. Let's go with her.
Hello, sir. My name is Nadine. I'm sure I'll be coming to you for help.
And let's get some snipers too. Let's get at least one sniper, right? I think we're gonna go to our boy Oscar.
Hey, I'm Oscar Baylor. Thanks for taking me on board.
Oscar Baylor, welcome to the team. You know what? Let's take out both snipers. We might. Yeah, I think we need at least two snipers.
I'm Catherine O'Hara. I look forward to joining you all.
Let's go, Catherine. Now we got 5 more picks. We pretty balanced. We got about 3 of these. Might want 4. I can see upping at the 4. I can see getting 1 more engineer at least. So 1 more engineer, 1 more lancer. 1, 2, 3, 4. Definitely. I say 2 more of these and probably 1 more scout. Well, let's go. Let's get the 1 scout that we're gonna get. Yeah, let's get Monty.
I'm Nochi Wordsworth. Hi.
Nochi. Not Montley. We're gonna get Nochi. I was thinking of Montley, but we'll get Nochi for now. Let's get Desert Allergy Lancer Killer Fancies Women. Let's go with this guy.
Salinas Milton, at your service.
Salinas Milton, welcome to the team. I kind of do want 2 of these guys. 2 more. So I guess we'll go Alex too.
Hi, I'm Alex Raymond. I look forward to serving with you, Welkin.
And I guess we'll drop one more of these in there.
My name's Hector Calvi, sir.
Welcome to the team, Hector. Now I did say I want 1 more of these guys, right? Yeah, I do. Let's bring this guy.
Herbert Nielsen is me. I mean, I'll yeah, I'll try.
Yeah, you don't seem that enthused, Herbert. Alright, that's the team. A nice little balanced team. We got 5 scouts, 6 shock troopers who's going to make up the bulk of our forces, pushing through the front lines. We got 4 lancers to take care of some tanks, 3 engineers for support, and 2 snipers. Pretty good.
Well, feel like you've struck a balance? Come back anytime you'd like to adjust your squad. As time passes, we'll have more recruits to choose from, so keep an eye on that list. Oh, and all the recruits go through training together, so they're all ready for combat. They'll be at the same level as the rest of the team you've taken into the field. You can swap out members without the worry of losing the benefit of their experience. Trust in your own judgment and pick a team you know you can work well with. That should be enough to get you started. You can figure out the rest as you go.
Wow. Squad leader's a lot of responsibility. Come to think of it, Valdio's heading up Squad 1, isn't he? I wonder if he's off sorting through this stuff now, too. I'd better get a move on.
See, now this is when a lot of the more strategy elements come into play. When you're on the field, yes, there's a lot of strategy with the combat, but this is when a lot of the strategy comes in deciding which type of team you're going to go out with, training your units to do different things, which we're going to see now.
Welcome to your worst nightmare. I'm the guy who's gonna whip you lazy blobs into shape. Still, I can't work miracles here. No amount of drilling beats real combat experience. I want you all to go out there, kick some imp tail, and then show me what you learned. I will train that experience into something you can actually use. Level you bums up. But don't go trying to hog all the glory. A squad's a team, and we got no need for stars. You will train as a class and level up by class. Scout level 2, Scout level 3. You get it? When the scouts level up, that means each and every one of them goes up that level. You hear me, maggots? Any of you think he's better than the rest of the team, go home now! All right. Now I'll show you lowlives how this whole thing actually works. It ain't complicated. First you go out there and fight, then divvy up that experience here. Once the experience you cram into a soldier class clears a set amount, it'll level up. Picking which class to level up and when is your job as the squad leader. Now give it a go. Train all you want. I've got all day.
Now, the way this works, as you can see, we don't have to worry about, you know, which units we take out to fight or which units we left behind or how many of each unit, because all of the experience is calculated at the end of the battle, and we'll get that experience amount added to our experience total. So far we got 2200 experience, 2250. Now we can use that experience however we want. So we could have taken out no snipers and still level up the snipers with the experience that we get, just to make them stronger. And it's vice versa. Whatever unit type we choose to upgrade, we can spend experience on that by just going over. Now see, I've decided to spend 10 experience on this unit. It takes 228 to go to the next level, but for just all intents and purposes, for explanation, I'm gonna spend 10 experience here, and I'll be sure about that.
No use for tears. Sweat, sweat, sweat.
Now that's all it went up, and as you can see, it's 218 left to go to the next level. I am going to level these up, and I can keep doing that for each unit. I can just add as much as I want to each individual point, or I can just decide to level them all the way up. I can bring the scouts up to level 2, and that's all of the scouts at once. I can bring my shock troopers up to level 2, which is also a smart idea. And the experience is only useful in this screen, so there's no reason to really save it. The best thing to do is level up your units as fast as possible. Now, you're not going to always have the experience needed to level up everything like I'm doing now. So then you will have to make some crucial decisions about who gets what. And, you know, depending on the mission you're doing and your unit types, you might want to focus on a specific unit. Like, for instance, I have more shock troopers than anything. So maybe I want to put the shock troopers up to level 3 or possibly level 4. Because I have mainly shock troopers in my army. But for now, we're just going to bring everybody up to level 2. Just for now.
You're better than this. Push those limits.
Now I leveled everybody up to level 2.
You're one level closer to human. Looks like that set would mean a new potential out of the Lancers.
See, now what that did is it released a new potential. A potential is basically those passives I was talking about. So now the Lancers all have an extra potential.
Looks like that set would mean a new potential out of the snipers.
The same thing goes with the snipers. Now if I check our snipers now, in the potential menu, we can press triangle to see that. Wow. Actually, you can get up to 8 potentials as you level up. So I said 4, but they were only displaying 4 in that character screen. This is how you really see the potentials as well as the, you know, the passives they're going to be getting. As you can see, the Lancers just got 1. So now some of them have 4 when they had 3 before. And whoever had 2 ended up with 3 now. So yeah, that was real good. And we did the same thing with the snipers. Now he has an extra one. She has an extra one. That was perfect. Now it might be useful to try to specialize my XP. As we see, we can't bring the shock troopers up to level 3. It's not going to work. because we need 1,074, we only have 1,050. That's why we have to be careful about using our XP. We can bring one of the other classes up to level 3. That might be beneficial to us. Now, it's either going to be the snipers, the lancers, the engineers, or the scouts. I say the scouts because the scouts are going to be on the front line. They are scout units. So bringing them to level 3 will also give them a little bit more HP and damage. So that will be valuable.
I got no use for tears. Sweat, sweat, sweat. Good work, maggots. You're one level closer to human.
Now with this last little bit of XP, I'm just gonna hold it and wait.
Got it? That's how training by class works. Now get out there and rack up some experience. Oh, and there's one more thing to add. Sometimes leveling up a unit class will unlock a hidden potential in them. You can think of potentials as the natural abilities your soldiers have inside them. Those abilities will form a big part of your strength in the field, so keep them in mind. Other times, leveling up a class will earn you clearance for a new order. Here, as long as we're talking about it, I'll teach you a classic, a real golden oldie.
You've learned Evade Boost. This order raises one ally's evasion skill.
Orders are special commands you can give out as the squad leader. They can save your tail. It doesn't take a genius to see that leveling up your soldiers is the best way to beef up your squad. The soldiers will get stronger, and you just might unlock new potentials and orders. All that just from me working you sorry bums into the dirt. I just hope you maggots are ready for a real workout the next time I see you here.
Now let's get into the research and development.
Welcome to R&D, man. What can I do you for? Huh? Wait, I know that insignia. You're Lieutenant Gunther, aren't you? I knew it! Man, I've heard about you. That evacuation at Brule was just... wow! Protecting a tiny life in the middle of all that slaughter? Man! Oh, Lieutenant, you're good people. You get all my respect and then some, bro.
What's going on, Leon? I could hear you from clear across the hangar.
Oh, Casey, check it out! It's Lieutenant Gunther! He's the man!
Sorry about him, Lieutenant. He's like this all the time, I'm afraid. But where are my manners? I'm Kreese Cherney. I'm training here as a mechanic.
Oh, and I'm Leon Schmidt, but just call me Leon, bro. I'm your boy.
So, Lieutenant Gunther, what brings you down to R&D today? We do work here on weapons development, making upgraded weapons and equipment.
And that includes rifles and machine guns. We can even soup up your tank. Of course, research expenses aren't cheap.
With rifles and other firearms, we'll mass-produce new models as they're developed. You won't have to worry about making enough for your squad. We'll outfit them.
For tanks, you can upgrade the baseline performance of the body itself, or develop optional parts that you can add on to tweak out its specs.
Right. You can choose which optional parts you want in the tank equipment section. Come in any time and make adjustments based on the needs of the operation at hand.
Tanks will automatically be given the best body type you have developed. You decide whether to favor attack or defense, and altering body types give your tank different outward appearances. Improvements to the tank treads and weak points in attack support take the form of parts that can be added to tanks enhanced. Their abilities, each part has a size in its blocks. You decide how to fill the 4x3 block storage capacity of the Edelweiss. Pick the optional parts that best fit your own personal combat style. The best way to explain that is for me guys to show you. I can develop weapons or I can outfit the tanks. Let's go to outfit the tank real quick. Now as you can see all of this information on the screen. We got the BHP and the THP up there and the AP. That's basically the body hit points, the tread hit points. Tread 550, body 1800, and we have a maximum action points of 350. That's real low, by the way. Then it shows you what type of weapons we have. We got the anti-armor shell, 600 range, 120 versus person, 900 versus armor, very effective versus armor. It's a E, it's equipped, that's what that E stands for, and it's a D level with aim. Then we have the mortar shell, an 82mm mortar, 250 range, 250 versus person, 300 versus armor. So it does a little bit better versus armor than, you know, persons, but it does one-shot most units that are ground units, so it's best to use it against ground units, but you can use it against tanks, as you can see. It's just that tanks have a lot of HP. Then we have the machine gun, same thing. It's not very effective. It has minimum range and it's not very effective at all. It's just basically good as defense. You can use it, but only as an emergency. I would only save it for defense. Then we can see the body defense is 450 and the tread defense is 100. Now let's go to change parts. I wanted to see that, show that. As you can see, there's a 4x3 grid. We don't have any tank parts now, but when we do get tank parts, we'll have to fit them into that 4x3 grid. And the more parts you get, it just makes that like sort of like a Tetris grid where you have to just say, all right, this part takes up 3 spaces on the grid. I might have to take out some smaller parts that was taking up 1 space just to fit that in. So that's some give and take. There's a lot of strategy there as well, but we ain't going to get into that too much. Let's go back to the top of R&D and just develop the weapons. Now we can do rifles. This is what our scouts and our engineers carry. We got machine guns. Only the shock troopers carry these. Anti-tank lancers, sniper rifles, hand grenades, uniforms, and blast suits. The first thing I'm going to do is go for the uniforms and the blast suits, because this upgrades our combat suit and gives us way more defense. So the first thing I'm going to do is pay for that. 500 DCT. Get that upgrade.
For you, bro. It's done.
Now, same thing for blast suits. I'm going to upgrade the blast suits by 1. 900 DCT.
It's done.
Now, I can go to the weapons. Now, the way the uniforms work, the shock troopers, the engineers, snipers, they all use the regular uniforms. And I think only the lancers use the blast suits, so that's kind of separate there. But it's always worth upgrading both of them. But if you do have a option of what to upgrade, I always go for the uniforms, because more different classes use this uniform type. So I would always go for this first. And we have to wait later on down the line to even see what these are. But for now, we'll just stick with the normal upgrades. We can't get a grenade upgrade for now. We can go accuracy boost, firepower boost, and firepower boost over here too. Accuracy, I'm gonna go accuracy definitely with the rifles. A lot of units use rifles too, so that makes sense. I think I'll do a firepower boost for sure over here.
All set.
We basically gonna just boost everything for now. We got the money.
Here you.
And it's real cheap to get everybody up to the next level. Accuracy 1, so he has way more accuracy with the sniper rifle. Yeah, you really don't want to miss no shots, so that's worth it. And I think we could just save our money from there.
Well, sir, was that helpful? We're working here around the clock to make possible tomorrow what's out of reach today. Come again a little later. We'll do our best to have something useful for you by then.
Yeah, you better come back soon, bro. I am all fired up to work on stuff for you.
Alright, now that was research and development, the training field, the command room, in the Squad Barracks.
Hello.
Oh no, I'm finished with my squad actually. I was gonna
Come back and
try to do some min-maxing, but I don't think we have to so far. Here we can get all the unit details we need if you wanted to look at more details on the units. See what kind of armor they have equipped. They automatically equip the most recent armor, so we don't really have to worry about that for now. Until we have different armor types, then they'll, we'll have to pick which armor they're going to be wearing. Let's go back to book modes for now. A new episode has been added. Headquarters tab is now available. About headquarters. On the Gallian Militia base, you can use the experience points and funds you have acquired. That's basically telling us what we just did. Oh, it's basically telling us to stop at before combat and after combat, after we acquire resources, because we never know when we're going to get new research. And as we progress through the game, other locations is going to become available as well. And as you can see, we got the chapter select tab, we got the tab select, save, and options. Let's save the game here. And let's get into episode 3.
Welks! There you are. I've been looking for you.
Hey, Ace. How'd your enlistment go? No problems?
I registered as a tank pilot and mechanic. Maintaining and operating the Edelweiss will be my responsibility from now on. I think it's nice that we'll all be on the same squad together. I think so too.
So what are you up to now?
The tank's hangar space is just through here. I was just carrying some Ragnite fuel back. It's used to power the tank, and also for the turret-mounted cannon rounds.
I guess I'm just more used to seeing it in street lamps and medical compounds.
Seems like everything is Ragnite powered these days. That stuff is everywhere.
Not enough of it for some people, though. It's the source of a lot of conflict.
They say the Empire's invading only to get at all the Ragnite in Gallian soil.
Oh, that's right. I had something to give you, Welks.
What's this?
Father's flare gun. It was in the barn, but I thought you might have some use for it.
Another hand-me-down.
I gave it a once-over. It might be old, but it's still serviceable.
I didn't mean... I just can't believe I'm a tank operator now. Thank you for this, Ace.
I'll do a spot check on the Edelweiss now, to make sure it's ready to go at any time. All right, we'll get going for now then. See you later.
We in the